Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I want to thank you guys for being so patient. I know we were running a little behind today, but we have an amazing show in store for you guys. I am super excited to talk about tonight's topic. We are going to love it, but you guys know before we go any further, we got to give something that we're grateful for. I see you guys are filing in. Make sure you go ahead and hit that arrow in the lower right corner for me and share this conversation with 3 friends you think would love it, okay? So yeah, I want to start off by saying I am grateful for, I don't know. What am I grateful for? I'm honestly am grateful just for another day to be able to do. Excuse me, I need you to get out. Sorry. I am really just grateful for another day to do this episode. Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay, I'm just grateful for another day to do this episode. I'm super grateful for tonight's episode. I see you guys coming in. Make sure you drop something in the comment section that you're grateful for. And I am so excited. Okay, so as you guys have seen, we are talking about, I've been promoting the Strong Black Woman episode. That's what we're talking about tonight. This whole idea, the whole 90s mantra, the trope, strong black independent women. God, okay? And it is played the fuck out, okay? The strong black independent woman is played the fuck out. Black women today want and need their men, and we also are self-sufficient. We can have both. And we no longer want to be labeled as the woman who does it all, who can do it with a smile on her face no matter what it is. Like, we are human, we are not superheroes, and we need help, okay? And we want our men to help us. So we are destroying that shit. We're canceling that shit, we're retiring that shit, and we ain't bringing it back, okay? But before we go into detail, I think it's really important when we're having this conversation to give some historical context, right? So for those, a lot of people may think that maybe welfare just started. Welfare actually began back in the 30s, okay? So there was cash, government cash or something of that sort. So yeah, it started back in the 30s. So this is what we start to get, next coming up, I'm going to give you a timeline of just about like black families and things like that. And a lot of the, I'm skimming over, so I'm probably missing some important things here. But I'm just giving you a few of the details that really kind of led to the degradation of the black family. And somewhere in the mix, how that strong, independent black woman mindset and idea came about. So I do want to say that it is important to keep in mind that a lot of us got here because of slavery. So the idea that black women were initially just seen as slaves and just pieces of meat and just sexual objects is an important thing to keep in mind. And I actually, when I was redoing my notes, I saw that it can also be said that the black woman, the mammy, because that's where mammy came from, which was a slave thing, was the mammy was the woman who took care of the house duty. She took care of all the white children and the slave children. And that could be one of the earliest versions of a strong black woman because her responsibilities were endless. So it's really, that's what I'm saying, that's really important to keep that in mind, right? So 30s, like I said, welfare starts. 60s, after like doing some research, the 60s, by the 1960s, black families were still together. And what I believe I saw was that by the 60s, the black marriage rate had declined, but it was still neck and neck for white families. So in the 70s, the war on drugs goes into place, and we all know Nixon puts that into policy, right? And then in the 80s, crack hit. So crack hits in the 80s, and that is when, so let me go back here. The war on drugs was basically, Tupac says, instead of war on poverty, they had a war on drugs so the police can bother me, which basically was just, I'm probably missing some things here too, but it was in, putting mandatory prison sentences in place for certain drugs. And it was really classifying where drugs were level 1 and just like controlled substances and things like that. So that's what the war on drugs was. Really just to target black people of minorities, and enforce stricter prison sentences and jail sentences and fines and whatnot on people who were caught with drugs. So that's the war on drugs. That's what it is. So by the 80s, when crack hits, they had a fucking field day. Mass incarceration. The incarceration rate is fucking skyrocketing. Like, that shit going through the roof. All right. So 80 crack hits in the 80s. They got mass incarceration. By this time, Nixon is no longer in office, and we have Reagan in office. And Reagan, from what I was seeing, basically just backed up and supported some of the same ideas that Nixon had. So by the night, so I just want to keep this in place. 80s going into the 90s. Now, I believe there was, at least by the 90s, at least 40% of black families had an absent father in them. And you can contribute this not to just black men leaving, but you got to remember, this is where welfare is coming in. At this point, in the 90s, welfare is literally paying you more money to keep a man out of the household. So not only did, it had already started to dwindle down, but you gotta remember industrialization, things like that taking place. But outside of that happening, now you got industrialization, so all these jobs are leaving. Now you got the war on drugs. So all the little fathers, even the small amount of men, men that were there, so they got the war on drugs, so now they going to jail. They getting these stiffer prison sentences. And then the crack hit in the 80s, so now you got more people and more men and women outside of their families. So now they're really leaving. So not only is crack hitting in the 80s, mass incarceration is skyrocketing. So by the 90s, the government they found another finesse. They didn't find another hustle. So now we gonna lock y'all up, and now we got y'all in these houses. We got all these women in the houses, and we ain't got no daddies, and we literally paying you to keep these niggas out. So at that point, it was literally more risk to a black woman and her children if she was married and she wasn't because they wasn't making enough money. They didn't have enough money at that point. You're not making enough money. You're not making more money than what the government is giving you by the 90s because they're paying you so much. And mass incarceration and all this, everything else is just literally impacting you economically. You were literally making more money keeping the man out of the household, literally. And that's what they did. And they had, that's where they said, I think the rule was called man in the houses, where social workers would literally pop up randomly to make sure that women were accurately reporting their family statuses. And if you were not, then if the social worker came in and found out that there was a man in the house, then you could be fined, you could be cut off. And now your children and you and yourself are without because you had a man in the house when you could just do bad, literally. You can just do bad all by yourself. You see how this goes? You literally see how the government is literally paying you to keep him out. Like literally they were paying you to keep the black man out of the households. So you literally could do it by yourself so that you can be a strong black woman. Literally, it's all this is playing into play. I love how that just came around. Hey, you guys, make sure you guys drop in the comment section something you're grateful for, and I would really appreciate if you guys go ahead and hit that button in the little arrow in the lower right corner and share this conversation with 3 friends you think will love it. So I told you guys we're talking about the strong black woman and how black women don't want to be called that anymore. And so what I was just doing right there was just giving you guys a little historical background on how things have played into the degradation of the black family and where the strong black independent woman mindset and trope came about. So what I did look, because I want to be honest, I was looking to find out where or if anyone has specifically, sometimes when somebody creates a thing, they say they coined the phrase or coined the term, and I could not specifically pinpoint who coined the term strong. Okay, baby, I'm working. Go in. Okay, it's okay. Why is this wet? Cream, stop playing in water or whatever what's wet. Stop playing in it. Oh, I'm gonna close the door, but stop playing in it. Go sit down, please, and stop playing in it. Sorry. So yeah, I basically was just giving you some background on how that came about, and there was really no person that I saw during my research that coined the term strong independent black woman. So now we got about where it came from. Now let's really talk about how the phrase, how the trope strong independent black woman has affected the way black women date. And fuck that, before we go to the dating, let's talk about how it has interrupted or disrupted the parenting, or not disrupted, how we were brought up. I was raised by a strong black woman, independent black woman, and that oftentimes meant that my mother struggled a lot in silence. It meant that she went many times without necessary resources to provide for her children, and that was by 2 things. A lot of people say by choice and by force. So being brought up by a strong independent woman, my mother suffered a lot in silence. She went without necessary resources by choice and by force, because with that with that mantra constantly being reinforced, asking for help was a sign of weakness, and that is not something that a strong woman would do. A strong woman would figure it out on her own by any means necessary. And so a lot of times in reality, a lot of our mothers struggle because that was what they were living by. That is the code that they were living, trying to stick to. So I don't need to ask for help because I'm a strong, independent woman and I got it and I can do it by myself. And a lot of times, let's be honest, that strong, independent Black woman left a lot of our mothers single. That idea left a lot of our mothers single. It left a lot of our mothers struggling in the dark because they could not ask for help, although they desperately needed help. And let me be clear what I mean by help. I mean like the emotional assistance outside of a lot of the financial assistance because the government was providing that, but that meant mental assistance, emotional assistance. The strong Black woman really probably outside of hindering our mothers from being in successful, happy, healthy, sustainable relationships, it really affected the way not only daughters were brought up, because now you're raising strong Black women that say, I don't need a man, I can do it by myself. And you really are depriving your daughters of the partnership that is so essential to life, because we all need someone. So on the flip side, we're raising daughters that do not need men, that can do it by themselves, that are depriving themselves of a life of luxury, of softness, of femininity, because we have been honestly railroaded and kind of backed into a corner because of the government and its wrongdoings. On the other side of that, can you get out? Close the door and get out. You're not getting in anymore. Close the door and get out. Lord have mercy. Sorry about that. And on the flip side, the strong Black women are now, excuse me, I need you to leave. I'm working. I'm sorry, guys. Give me just 1 moment. You would never just play like this. So let's go, please. Go sit down before I put you in the plaything. Sit down. Get on the couch. Go sit on the couch. You're fine. You don't need. Go sit on the couch. Okay, Corinne, you're fine. Sit down. Okay, sit down and relax. Oh, child, I am so sorry. Thank you guys for being so patient, because I told y'all know I got this kid. Okay, so when it comes to how the strong Black independent woman trope is affecting parenthood, now Black women are raising little girls who have decided essentially they don't need a man in their life, they don't need the help, and they're depriving themselves of a life of partnership, they're depriving themselves of resources, of assistance that is necessary and that essentially everybody needs. On the other side, because we know that Black women are also raising sons, now we are raising young boys to believe that a woman can do it all, and that in turn is going to transfer over to how they see women, how they date, and what they help, and how they help in their household. Because as a woman, as a provider, let's be clear. As we're raising Black men, or we were raising Black men to think that your mama can do it all. My girlfriend, my baby mama gonna do it all by herself. She don't need no help. And in the same time, the cycle just begins. So now we got a Black man seeing that his mama did it. So why I need to help my baby mama? My baby mama did it because my baby mama can do it. My mama did it. What's the difference? She can do it. I saw my mama struggle, and that's how we're ranking strong Black women based on a strong Black woman is a woman who can endure everything with a smile and handle it. And the reality is nobody can do that. Nobody can go through life ups and downs, ins and outs, good and bad, smiling all the time, because it's just not natural. Something is wrong. And so we're raising children, we're raising young girls that believe they don't need a man, they don't need no help, they can do it. And that's just not true. You need help. You can do anything, but you cannot do everything. And now we're raising young Black boys to think that because their mother did it all, when they don't really know that their mother is struggling in silence, right? She's struggling in silence. She's crying in the dark. She's crying on her way to work. She's breaking her back. She is aging probably much harder than she normally would. She has probably more health issues because she's doing all this work by herself, mentally and emotionally, with no outlet. So now we're raising Black boys to think, okay, well, my mama did it, my baby mama gonna have to do it. And there's more to it, and the cycle just continues. Raising girls that don't need men, raising men that think that they baby mamas and their wives and their girlfriends can do it all, and that's just wrong. So that is how the strong Black women, strong Black independent woman has affected parenting. Now let's move forward to how it has affected dating. I know I'm like going really fast, but I know you guys are probably listening, but if you guys got any comments, questions, or concerns, or anything that you really want to add to the conversation, make sure you drop it in here. And don't forget, you guys, if you really want to come on and say how you feel, you can always hit that request button, and I'll definitely bring you on a live, and you can speak your piece and give your opinion as well. So moving forward, so we've gotten through the origins of the strong black women, we've gotten through the parenting, and now let's tackle dating, because this conversation is not about pointing the blame. It's not just a historical conversation. I really want to dissect this is a very shortened version of it, I would like to say, because I feel like this is a conversation that we can have for hours. But I also want this conversation to be progressive. I want us to talk about where it started, how it has affected us, and what we can do moving forward to get away and change this narrative, because this is no longer conducive to the lifestyle that women want to live. Being a strong, independent black woman is played the fuck out to the fullest extent. I want to be safe, I want to be soft, and I want to be self-sufficient. Okay, and that's it. I don't need a man, sweetie. I want a man. I need a man, because I can't do this shit by myself. Okay, I need a man, and every black woman should feel like they need a man. But that does not mean that you should be sacrificing your respect, your dignity, your integrity to get a man. You should need a man because everybody needs somebody to do this life with. It's a long ass life and it's hard as hell. So yes, you need somebody, but do not sacrifice the bare minimum of who you are for a man. And the same thing goes for men. You should not be sacrificing the core of who you are for a woman. Yes, you need somebody, but you are going to still die alone, baby, in that casket. So don't be sacrificing the essence of who you are to get that person, right? So let's move forward. I ain't trying to get preachy. Somebody said, wow, interesting. What do you think is interesting? Because we've been, women have, the thing is that black women have really just been talking more about, I want to be soft and I want to be feminine. And it's like black women haven't been given that option. So black women are this is what we are literally doing. We are taking what we think femininity looks like, what we've been told femininity looks like, and we just putting that shit in there, and we trying to figure out the perfect balance. We're literally being given the ingredients and making up what we think it looks like, and we're trying to find a balance. And like me and Bree discussed yesterday, the distant cousin of being a strong, independent black woman was being a ride or die. And we done ride and died and ride and die. We ain't doing that shit no more. Women are over that. Black women have gotten to the point, and we strongly know, we know deep down that we do not have to experience hurt love in order to get a healed love, a healthy, happy love. So we know that now. We done. Ain't nobody no ride or die. You got about one fuck up with me. Like they said, I'm a Judge Judy, bitch. You got about one fuck up and I'm out. Okay? Outie 5,000, baby. Ain't nobody taking no cases. Ain't nobody sticking with you through no bullshit. Get professional help. Okay? Because this ain't that. I ain't sticking by no nigga. I don't got time. Okay? Am I sliding or I'm riding, bitch? I'm sliding. I'm out. Outie 5,000. I ain't sticking by no nigga. I don't got time. Don't come over here trying to, I got so much going on, just stay your ass at home and figure the fuck out. Come healed. Okay? Come healed. Or don't bring your ass at all. That's it. We're not doing all that no more. I ain't got to be fucked over checking your phone, checking who you like. No, nobody doing that. We not doing that no more. That shit is done and dead. We done. We not doing that. Black women, we not doing it. Come healed or don't fucking come at all. Stay your ass at home with your mama. That's what we doing. We not doing that other shit, okay? We want healthy, happy, sustainable love. That's what we want. And if I can't have that, then I won't have nothing, because I'm not going to settle for no bullshit though. Okay? We done. The story behind the strong. Yeah, so it's really interesting. I feel like there's not just one era in history that was like, this is what made a strong black woman. Honestly, it's just a build up over time. And then it kind of just formed in like the late 80s, the 80s and the 90s. That's how it came about. And then that was just their mind. That's what they living by. And if you really pay attention to like the trend, like that was what the 80s and 90s are living by. Millennial women, what we living by now? Femininity. That's our word. I want to be soft, feminine. That's what we're living by. That's the thing that we've decided that's what we want. 90s women, they had decided, I'm a strong black independent woman. Millennial women now today, we like, I want soft and feminine. I don't want no hard life. I want an easy life, and I want my man with it. I want my kids. I want the life of luxury. That's what women are saying that we want now. And just like strong black independent women upheld that, I am more than positive and certain that we can uphold the life of luxury, of softness, of femininity, of bringing back two-parent households and rebuilding those, and having these conversations that transfer onto our children, that we recondition our sons to know that your job is more than just to financially provide for your family. You have to also contribute emotionally. You have to put that work in outside of just paying bills. And our daughters, yes, baby, you don't need, yes, you need somebody. Yes, you do. You need a man. But baby, you don't have to sacrifice who you are to get one. So it's really just about taking the mantra that we have, which is the millennial mantra, is that we want to be soft and feminine, and taking that, reconditioning ourselves to the best of our ability, because we've been living with this shit for a long time. We 30 years old now. It's a long time we've been having that in our head. So now it's taking what we want now and taking that and believing that and manifesting that in our own lives and passing that on down through our parenting, and that it's going to affect. And we will see, give it a time, in 20 years when our children are old enough, we're going to see what soft and femininity children are, what that mantra has done to our children. We're going to see what our sons look like. We're going to see what our daughters look like, because our parents get to see who we are based on what they would believe, what they belief was. No more risking peace of mind. Absolutely. Definitely black girl luxury. I actually tagged that when I did this. So yeah, let's get on to the dating. So the strong, independent black woman mantra has hindered black women in the dating scene. And it's not just us, because I think that a lot of times we think that when the mindset is primarily about one gender, we think that it really only affects them. No, in order to date, you have to date somebody else, unless you're just loopy and you date yourself. But that mantra has affected, again, like they raised the women, it also raised young black boys. So we raised women who were conditioned to think they don't need a man. And to a degree, that makes you, and it's like we talked about, it makes us a little angry. That strong, independent black woman mantra, that trope, it makes you a little angry, because you're angry because you're having to do it all alone, but you also don't feel like you're given the option to say, I need help, when you really need help. So now you really kind of got some angry black women dating. So now she a little hostile. Now she a little aggressive. And the reality is she doesn't have a space to say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. You know, and not only do black women not have the space to say, I'm tired, we don't have black men that know how to deal, or I don't want to say deal, that know how to handle. Kareem, I am working. This is ridiculous. Like, you are stressing me out, bro. Like, you're stressing me out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where your phone is. Get out. I don't know. Because I don't know. This is ridiculous. I am literally trying to work. Get out and do not come back in here. Go sit down. Close my door, please. This is ridiculous, man. Sorry, again. So, I'm sorry. Let me take a comment because I completely forgot where I was. Do you think this would create a more sensitive generation? We are strong because we were raised by strong women. But if we change that narrative, will we raise weaker children? Ooh, weaker children. Weaker children. I mean, if we were raised by strong. We were raised by women who got it out the mud and grinded by any means necessary. So in that sense, that they did it all by themselves and they took pride in that, then yes, technically we'll be raising weaker children. By that standard, yes, we will raise weaker children. I would think that, I like to word that better though. We are raising more resourceful, more compassionate, more understanding children. More children that are understanding the concept of partnership. We're raising more children who are self-aware. And maybe a little weaker. Maybe they're more prone to asking for help a lot more often than we would have been. So they may not be as self-sufficient. So to a degree, maybe a little bit weaker because they might ask for a little more help, but not weaker in a sense, weaker in the mind. I think we're raising, like I said, more compassionate, more understanding, more self-aware, more resourceful children. They have a plethora of resources around them. So that grind that we have that they may not have, we got to find another way to instill that in them. We still have to do that. But so in that, that standard may be weaker, but they are definitely more stronger in other ways than our parents were. And then other places that maybe we were as well. They're definitely going to be a lot stronger than us in many ways. And they're definitely going to be a lot weaker to us in other ways as well. So it's a little trade-off. I think it's a great trade-off though. But that's why you can't raise them too gentle, but we also don't gotta raise them like they gotta live in poverty either, because who the fuck is that really helping, But yeah, hope I answered the question. I know I kind of like weird off a little bit. But yeah, so the dating. So black women, the strong black independent women trope affected women that don't need men. So now these are overly independent, maybe a little less self-aware, maybe I want to even go over maybe a little less accountable. Like, no lie, I don't even want to be rude, but I feel like maybe a little less accountable with actions, a little less self-aware maybe. And they just don't see the value in partnership, and rightfully so, because at one point the value of partnership was really low. Marriage was really low compared to what they really needed to provide for children. And then you're dealing with men who all they know is these type of women, but don't necessarily know how to deal with these type of women. So you got people who are constantly butting heads, trying to make it work. And nobody's able to ask for help. Nobody's able to ask for help. Nobody knows where to go for help. And you got women who are tired, exhausted, and don't have the space and don't have the words to say, I need help. And can you help me? And we also have men who don't know how to help these women, So it's really a lot of factors to it. Somebody said, great assessment. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel bad on how I raised my daughters. I always told them to do it on their own. They do not need a man. And I don't, I wouldn't feel bad about that, because I like to think that my siblings and I are great examples of a strong, independent black woman. We couldn't be more fucking different. And if you all saw us in a room together and saw how we act, it would blow your fucking mind how we all are hella different. So I wouldn't be surprised, because at the end of the day, I feel like children are like 333. They are influenced by their house, their school, and outside. And outside is typically their friends, the media. So it's like, after so long, not saying your influence is weak, but they got a lot of other influences as well. So, hell, you might have told them something, they might have forgot that shit. But don't feel bad. I mean, if you raise them good and they're decent people and they're not out here causing chaos, then I kind of feel like they're good people. But it's not too late, though. And that's the whole point. If you feel bad and we're having this conversation, it's not too late to have this conversation again. Like, just because, they're grown doesn't mean you stop raising them. It doesn't mean they stop coming to you. That you're a parent for life, even in the afterlife, you're always a parent. So it's not too late to have this conversation, to revisit, like, I brought you up like this, but what do you think about this now? What do you think about, and have these conversations, because it's not like I've thought this shit for 10 years. I just figured, we just started figuring this shit out in the last 5 years, So if I just start figuring out in 5 years, and I have a whole life ahead of me to change and make the adjustments to make sure that I can have a healthy relationship, I don't see why your children wouldn't be able to have this conversation, to have a change of perspective, to make the necessary adjustments in their life as well. You can always do better. Okay, it's 100. I did. Somebody said let's parent past 18. I'm definitely parenting past 18. I don't even believe in that shit. My kid, as long as I'm on this earth, dog can call me, okay? And I'm coming, no matter. I'm his mama, and I got his bees. Okay, so I'm always dog mama. Always. I'm his mama. That's who got to be done for, his mama. Right? My mindset about men has changed, and I tell them that. Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of times black women, we just don't have that conversation with our parents, our mothers, about love. I feel like it's really sensitive, because a lot of them are alone, and a lot of them don't know what that's like. A lot of them don't have the, I don't know how to say, they don't have the, not vocabulary, they just don't, not the space, they just don't have the, I am like lost words saying this, they just don't have the words. And when I mean, like, obviously we have words, but they just don't know how to really express that. I'm gonna just go with that. Black women, especially our moms are older, they just don't have the words to express how they felt about love. They think that maybe they're too old to get love. They don't know how to change, and they didn't have the resources and the enlightenment and the platforms that we have to have these dialogues. And it's really important that, like I said, this show is about that. The conversations we're having here, take them back home and have them share these perspectives, because it's never too late to change and make the adjustments to have a better life. Ever. You're right. We don't talk to them. We don't. Single mothers do not talk about love. It's be like, because they still have that mindset, like, I don't need a man. And it's like, but you're dying inside. Like, you're fucking lonely as fuck. That's why a lot of these things, And I'm going to say this. A lot of these single mothers are making their children to be the men that they wish they had. And to me, it's like, but we can just avoid all that if we just talk about how you need a man. Like, and you have to find a balance, because it's either I need a man, like I don't need a man, or, you know, you saw women breaking their backs to have a man. There was no balance. So that's why it's like we need to have this conversation and find the balance. Like, you can have a man, okay, and you don't have to sacrifice every fiber of your being to have one either. And that's why it's important that we got to get out of that niggas ain't shit. Because if that's all you say, that's all you going to see. You know what I'm saying? We got to get out of that. We have to know that there's a balance. And that's why I am really excited about this docuseries, is like the Black Love docuseries, or like these black couples that come out and they're just talking about their love, because it's so important. Because a lot of these moms are single and they're looking for love in their children, and they're looking for it in all the wrong places. And it's like, sex is not love. Okay, sex is not love. Okay, sex is not love. A sneaky link ain't love. That ain't it. That ain't. I promise you, that ain't it. It ain't it. And no shade to our grandparents, but the reality is, our grandparents were stuck in a lot of those situations because our grandmothers could not economically afford to leave. They could not financially afford to leave, so they were stuck there. They didn't have a choice. A lot of y'all grandfathers, you want to keep it a band, are abusive as fuck. They're alcoholics, they're abusive, they're drug addicts. And the only reason grandma stayed and stuck it out for 60 years is because she didn't have a fucking option. But when mamas get that option in the 70s, they got the fuck on sometimes, okay? The government was paying them. And while it looked like a great thing, it was actually extremely detrimental to the black family. And then that's where you got to show them, I can do it all by myself. I can do it I don't need no nigga. And it's like, nah, sis, you need a nigga. You need one. You need one. You need one to help you raise these kids. There's a reason to take two to make one. It's a reason to take two, baby. It's hard, okay? And it's hard. You just need them. I see you guys joining in. If you guys joining in, we are discussing the strong black woman trope. Black women no longer want to be called strong black women. We are tired of being called strong because it is in correlation to how many tragedies and how much pain we can suffer with a smile on our face. I don't want to be a strong black woman. I need a man. Okay? I need my man. I do. I need my man. I need my man in the house. You know, I love black women. I love seeing black women say, no, I need my man. And understand, you don't have to sacrifice every fiber of your being to have a man. You also don't need to proudly strut, I don't need a man, because you do. Everybody needs somebody in his life. As long as fucking is hard as hell, nobody wants to do this shit alone. That's the reality. I need a man. I want strong very loosely, okay? I want a strong, beautiful black man. Okay? I do. I absolutely do. I absolutely need one. So yeah. Men are our protectors. They are here to protect and love. Absolutely. And the children. And not just to protect and love. Men are here to be loved and protected as well. They're here to educate and be educated as well. So that's what we're talking about. And I just want to make sure I move forward. I want to get caught up. We're talking about how, I'm just moving forward though. We've given historical context about how the strong black woman trope came about. We've given how it is affected. We've given the origins of it. We've given how the strong black independent woman has affected parenting. And now we're discussing how the strong black independent woman, this is long as fuck. I can't believe people were saying this shit all the time. The strong black independent woman has affected black women and black men when it comes to dating. And this conversation is really about being honest, because that trope, that mentality has made a lot of black women hostile. We hostile as fuck. We aggressive. We're a little angry because I'm tired. And every black person in this world, like I like to think of, has heard their mama say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And she wasn't lying. She tired as fuck, mentally, emotionally, physically. She's exhausted. And that is the reason why a lot of black women have higher health issues, higher rates for health issues, because they are doing it all by themselves, and the load is meant to be shared by two and not by one. So no, the strong independent black woman is not healthy for us. Physically, it's not healthy for us. Mentally, it's not healthy for us. Neither is it emotionally or spiritually. See you laughing. Yeah. And so now you got women that are hostile towards the men. You got men that are butting heads with women because men naturally just, want to protect and provide, but they have been conditioned by looking at their moms do it all, and now they're dealing with women who's saying, I don't need you to do it, and now they're clashing. It's like, I want to do this. I want to help. I want to do this. But you also got men at the same time that are like, well, my baby mama could do it. My mama did it. My mama did it. My baby mama could do it by herself. She don't need no fucking help. And it's like, no, my nigga, no. Because then we're continuing this vicious cycle, and that's not what we want. That's absolutely not what we want. It absolutely takes two to create one. And that load should not be shared by one. It's exhausting. So we got that. So let's talk about moving forward and what does retiring the strong black independent woman trope look like moving forward. It looks like more black women stepping into true femininity. It looks like black women being more softer. It looks like having the conversation that we're having tonight with more black men about how to deal with more softer women. Because as much as black men like to say black women are so masculine, they so aggressive, it's like, if that's all you guys are mostly accustomed to dealing with, how do you know how you react to a woman that's not hostile? You know what I'm saying? If all you used to is taking blows, how do you feel when somebody don't swing back? You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's another conversation that black men and black women, we need to sit down collectively and have. What does that type of woman look like to you? And most importantly, black women also need to define what does femininity look like for us. Yes, definitely we have to own our femininity. But what is femininity? Let me ask you guys that. What does femininity look like for black women? What does it look like? Because I cannot imagine that black femininity is just living in luxury. I mean, that's nice, absolutely nice, and I'm not knocking that. That can absolutely be a part of femininity. But what does it look like? I know a lot of times we see that when we speak of femininity in white women, they're softer, they're less confrontational. We think of maybe housewives, stay-at-home moms. We see women that are more likely to just shut the fuck up and listen to their man, because black men swear we don't shut up. But what does black femininity look like? It can't just be flights and vacations and swimsuits and nice drinks. And we know it's also not just shutting the fuck up and being silenced to please somebody. So we have to find that middle ground. Learning and growing. Yeah. I think femininity is a perfect balance of gentle and firm, or direct and firm, compassionate and firm. I think that I can be soft and understanding and listen to both sides, and I can also mean what the fuck I say and enforce my boundaries. To me, that's femininity. I can absolutely say I understand you, I hear you, I don't have to yell, I don't have to cuss, I don't have to step outside my character, but I also mean what the fuck I say, and you're not gonna speak over me, you're not gonna walk over me, you're not gonna overtalk me, you're gonna hear what I have to say, and you're gonna abide by what I have to say when it comes to my boundaries. I think to me that's femininity. Femininity is not, I think it's called being docile. I might be saying that wrong. I don't even know why I'm trying to use words and I can't even fucking pronounce them. But I don't think it's timid. I don't think femininity is not timid. Femininity is not hush hush and letting people treat you. To me, that's not femininity. Femininity is not confrontational to me, though. Yeah, I think it is soft. I think it is gentle and compassionate. But I also think it is very firm. It is very direct, assertive. And I think that as black women, we go through this phase because we're retiring a lot of that old bullshit. Like I told y'all earlier, black women are retiring that ride or die shit. Boy, bye. Ain't nobody doing it. I ain't catching no case for nobody. I ain't taking no charges for nobody. And bitch, I'm singing like a songbird. You will be locked the fuck up fucking with me. Don't do no dumb shit, because bitch, I got a kid to live for. And I would sacrifice you, baby. They can have you. You should have thought about that stupid shit before you did it. Don't be involved with me in none of that foolishness, okay? I ain't taking no cases. I ain't riding or dying for nobody, all right? Assertiveness is masculinity. You think so? Being assertive is masculine? What? Oh my goodness. I think assertiveness, when I think of femininity, I think of like Cleopatra. I think of women who ruled the throne. I think of women who ruled, women who did it fearlessly. And I don't think they were any less feminine. I think that women in power can absolutely be assertive and understanding and compassionate and be firm. I don't know if assertiveness is masculine. I don't know. I think assertive. I think that's a part of femininity. But then there you go. There you got another black woman saying no, assertive is masculinity, and it's like we really have to define what femininity looks like for us. It looks different. We don't. we're not conditioned to being these things. White women were being at home. They were being stay-at-home moms. You know what I'm saying? And now black women I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to do that shit. I want my man to take care of us. And then you got on the flip side, you got men saying, your bitches is gold diggers. I ain't letting no bitch stay at home. Y'all ain't do what y'all doing at home. Y'all have, oh my God, y'all have men having the audacity to ask, what do a woman bring to the table? I thought that was a stupid ass conversation, and I honestly would have liked to have that conversation with men who were married. I would have loved to have the conversation of what do women bring to the table with married men, because I feel like when you're asking single men who are already biased, already hurt and unhealed, it just goes in circles. But when you have a man who's healed, that walks with God, that sits next to his wife and his children and his family, he can tell you absolutely what a woman brings to the table. I thought that was a great conversation to have with them, though. Assertive to me is more dominance. Femininity can be dominant? I don't think. See, that's another thing. I don't think femininity is just, I think that at moments femininity can be submissiveness. But I think femininity is also dominant. I think that, again, I don't want to say a soft woman, but I think a gentle woman rules. I do. I think I do. I think you rule. You might not be as loud as a more masculine woman, but I definitely think you can rule. And I think that, I think that you can be gentle and firm and understanding, and compassionate, and assertive, and still rule over a dominant person. I would say feminine energy is creative, receiving, compassionate, authentic. Yeah, absolutely. I would say authentic is both of them. I like that. I would definitely think those are great traits of femininity. I do. I absolutely agree with you there. I think that essentially over the next 10 years we're going to see it, because right now we're going through this self-care is bubble baths and shit, which I think is a load of crap. It's bullshit. Let me not fucking censor. It's bullshit. That self-care is just bubble. That's some bullshit. That shit ain't nice. Self-care ain't nice. Healing and self-care, that shit ain't all bubble baths and fucking hot chocolate and shit bullshit. It's not that. Alright, that's all y'all niggas doing. Y'all calling that shit self-care, nigga. You fucking behind, okay? You ain't took care of yourself. But I think that like we're going through that phase, self-care and love and self-care days and things like that. We're going through this femininity stage as luxury. And it's like sometimes femininity to me is just everyday regular, And it's not that overbearingness that you feel, or not overbearing, it's not that overwhelming feeling that you have because you have to carry it on your back. I think femininity to me is being able to say, hey, I need help. Can you take care of this? To me, that's femininity. I think that femininity is just being able to relax in yourself and not have that stress. You got to carry the whole world on it. And I really want to know what black, and maybe if you guys want, we can spin a block on this conversation and we can introduce the fellas and we can talk to black men about what does a more feminine black woman look like to you? Because I think it's important. And let me say this. I think it's important that we all get on the same page. I don't think we're all going to have a strict definition of what femininity looks like for black women. Absolutely not. But I think that when we all come to a consensus, have a general understanding, it makes it a lot easier to have those conversations with our men. And I think it's important that we get out of those stupid repetitive conversations like you did this and you did this and you do this. Like, okay, we can blame each other all day, but we also got to come to the agreement that we got to find a solution and move past it so that we can heal each other and come back together and start rebuilding and having those two-parent households and these healthy families and marriages again. That you said something, but yeah, so I think that, I think I said a lot. Anybody have anything else to add? I want to make sure I'm not getting I think black femininity, I mean not black femininity, I don't want to say that. I think that, I don't know, the strong black woman trope is just done. It's dead. We're tired of it. I want to be loved for me. I don't want to have had to accomplish a bazillion things to be loved. I also don't want to have experienced so much tragedy and pain that it literally changes who I am to be loved. I want to say, babe, can you take care of this? I want to be able to say I'm tired. I don't want to be a super mom. I don't want to be a fucking superhero. I don't like them. I don't like them characters and shit. I don't like DC. I don't like that. I don't want to be a superhero. I want to be a human and I want to be a woman and I want my boundaries to be respected. I want my pain to be acknowledged properly because and this is another thing I was reading. we think that these are just ideals that just affect parenting and dating, like I just went over, because I missed a bunch of areas that this stereotype or this mantra has affected Black women. The strong Black woman mantra has even affected Black women who receive medical care. Being strong Black women, because we interpret it how we interpret it. White people, people in the medical field, people that are not outside of color, interpret that as she's a strong Black woman, she doesn't feel pain. So that's why you got Black women in the hospitals saying that I'm in pain, and they're not addressing their pain, because you're a strong Black woman. Black women don't feel pain. And it's already studies to prove that people outside of people that are not people of color don't believe that Black people feel pain at the same rate that other people do. It's the stupidest shit. But they think that. And it's proof. Their statistics is proven in the medical field, the racism. And this is why these type of stereotypes are dangerous, not only to parenthood, to dating, it's dangerous literally to our health. This is why we have to retire this type of shit, because it is causing us physical harm. Outside of health issues, it is causing it is causing neglect and negligence in the medical, in hospitals and in the medical field, literally. So that's why we got to get away from this stuff. And that's why I am proud to retire the strong, independent Black woman. I want to be safe. I want to be soft. And I self-sufficient. That's it. I can have all those things. I can be assertive. I can be gentle and compassionate, understanding. And I can still know that I need my man to do this life with. Absolutely. And every woman should know that. And that's why it's important that we raise our sons to not be the men that we wish we had, but to be productive people in their community. We need our sons to grow up and be their own person, but be a good person. And we need our daughter, and to know that women cannot do it all. I did it all by force, okay? Not by choice. And you should not allow your child, you should not allow the mother of your child, or you should not allow your girlfriend or your wife to do it all. You are there to help her. And that essentially is the part of life. It's a part of it. You want to be in a partnership. Be a partner. Help your teammate out. You guys are on the same team. And our daughter's the same thing. Baby, yes, you can do it all, but you shouldn't have to, because it's so much harder that way. And don't be dating men that can't help you. That's the one thing my mama did teach me. Don't be dating no nigga that ain't gonna help you, girl. That wasn't bad though. That wasn't a bad thing to teach. You gotta find balance with everything, right? You gotta find balance. But don't be dating nobody that can't help you. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You don't need money today. I don't know who the fuck you dating that ain't got no money, but I ain't dating that nigga. I ain't dating no rich ass nigga, you feel me, dropping stacks every day, but I ain't dating no broke ass nigga that can't do nothing either though. The fuck? What is you doing? You ain't useful. You just joined. So look, Foley, you just joined. Ladies and guys just joined. Foley, if you're still in here, I have a question for you, if you don't mind answering. What does a feminine woman look like to you? What are the traits of a feminine woman? Because a lot of women in this conversation we're a lot of women in this conversation, and we want to know from a Black man, what does a feminine woman look like to you? And what are some traits that she may have? I think that we can talk all day to ourselves, because like women do, we do, about what a feminine woman looks like. We also got to have that conversation with our men, because we need to be able to communicate our needs, and they need to be understood, and we need to also be able to reciprocate the energy that we're asking for. So Foley, what does a feminine woman look like to you? I know you guys are just joining in, but make sure you guys go ahead and hit that arrow in the lower right corner for me and share this conversation with 3 friends you think will love the conversation. I think this is a great conversation to have, and I think it's something that, just like we were talking earlier, take this back to your daughters. Take this back to your friends. What does femininity look like to you? And please, let's get rid of this, I don't need a man. You need a man. You need a man. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need a man. Some shit is just too heavy to carry. Some men can carry it. It's simple as that. Okay? I don't want to be struggling to open jars. I want a man to do that. I don't want to screw another motherfucking screw together. I want my man to do it. Okay? I want to relax and be like, my man got it. I don't want to do all. I want my man to do it. Okay? I don't want to fix nothing. I want my man to do it. Okay? But at the same time, we also have to be raising men to be these type of men. Not necessarily living through them, but raising them to be self-sufficient, but also understand the value of partnership. It is a true value in partnership. And healthy people in relationships and marriages will tell you that. I'm about to call you Fleas. Foley, if you're still in here, can you tell us? I don't know if you're still in here. I'll give him another minute or so. See if he's in here. Can you tell us what a feminine woman looks like to you? And, how would you describe a feminine woman? If you're still in here. Oh, y'all, I've been slouching and my stomach hurt. I think it's sitting like this. I need to be sitting like that. Okay, I don't think Foley's in here, you guys. I think he's gone. That sucks. But if you guys want to spin the block on this conversation and include them in, please let me know. That is an option. I definitely, kind of want to get some black creators together and have this conversation. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this conversation up. Stop, you can be a strong, independent black woman and need a man. It's absolutely possible. Most women, a lot of women are doing it. You can absolutely do it. Let's retire that shit. You can be safe, soft, and self-sufficient. Okay? Partnership is essential to life. We all need it. And I think that's all I got for today. You guys know I got to go out the same way I came in. I don't know who's still in here, but if you're here, can you drop something in the comment section that you're grateful for? I'm going to drop something that I'm grateful for. I am grateful. It's petty. I'm grateful my son stopped barging in here while I'm talking to y'all. I really am. Because that was really irking me. Like, it was bugging my soul because I was really into the conversation and he just kept barging in. So I'm really grateful my son stopped barging in. And I'm really grateful we had this conversation. I really hope that somebody takes this conversation back to whoever, their friends, their daughter, their mama, and talk about it. I encourage everybody to talk to a single parent, mother or father about love. Like, what does love look like for you? Do you think you're too old to find it? What did love look like for you when you were younger? And what is it like now? And, kind of have that conversation and open their eyes that you're never too old to find it. It's never too late. As long as you got breath in your body, you can do it. That's the reality. Great show as always. Great topic. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. Make sure you guys, once we end the live, make sure you go ahead and share it for me. I know a lot of people just go back, maybe watch it a little bit. A lot of people like it. Go back and comment something, share it. I really appreciate if you guys comment and share it. It's really important to just spread the word. Just share it with somebody. And say I am grateful for my daughters. Absolutely, children are blessings. I'm grateful for my kid, especially when he's not barging in when I'm working, right? I'm joking. But yeah, that's what I'm grateful for. I think that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you guys spin the block and chill with me next Tuesday. We're gonna be talking about abortion. I think that's what I got in mind next week. We'll be talking about abortion. So yeah, we're talking about abortion next week, getting rid of kids, aborting the babies. We're talking about it. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Make sure you tune in next Tuesday at 7 p.m. as we're discussing abortion. You don't want to miss it. And that's all I got for you guys tonight, you guys. My name is Cherrell Carter. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, you guys. And this ain't a podcast. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.